So
Hello, I'm doing pretty good.
let's go. What's your name?
My name is Jacob DeVille.
Jake, Mr. DeVille. That's a
Yes.
very impressive moustache you have there, Mr. DeVille. How long have you been growing it for?
I've been growing it for, let's see, 5 years or so. Like, it's been quite a while. Like, I've got a bit of a interesting, the genes. They kind of make the facial hair grow a little bit faster than normal.
Was the reason for growing the moustache part of your circus act?
Yes, and I just also want to clarify that I am also recording this for my own benefit. So,
Sorry, please could you say that again?
I'm recording this for my own benefit because I always like to record all these types of interviews. I've been to many of these
Oh
for
no,
a
that's
little.
not a problem. Yeah.
Yes. So, what was your question, sir?
Um, did you grow your moustache for your circus act?
Well, not well. Yes, actually, I got the idea of the mustache quite a while ago, probably like half a decade ago. Well, as I said, I did start growing it then. I grew it because I thought, it adds a little bit of an extra layer to who I want to be, which is a juggler. It's just a thing I just do.
Juggler. And how long have you wanted to be a juggler for?
I've been doing juggling for about 6 years or so. It's what it is. I do it for I did it a little bit before this 10 to 1 thing. I did it for a bit of this smaller circus back in my hometown. I did that for a little bit, and I moved around for a little bit.
Where is your hometown?
My hometown is in Auburn, Washington. I'm from Washington.
Washington. What made you join this particular circus?
Well, for a while, I've been traveling around the country after I could not find work in my local area, and I eventually heard about this place, 10 to 1, and I heard that it was looking for new people, such as jugglers, because some other people had left for whatever reason, and I decided to take it up to, prove that I could be the person to serve in the circus.
How long were you in 10 to 1 for?
Well, I've been to 10 to 1 for like over a year or so. I'm not really one of the oldest members, but, people know who I am.
And what was your relationship like with the rest of your colleagues?
Well, I didn't really care though too much about what they did, but like for example, we had Calippo. He was the daredevil. He did his own thing. I talked to him a little bit sometimes. He seems pretty nice. Um, with the ringleaders, I mean, I've had some things with them as well. They're my bosses, of course, so I've tried to stay a little bit on good terms with them. And someone like, for example, I'm pretty sure the animal trainer, Donardo. I spent a pretty good relationship with him. He's with the bear and all that stuff. We did some tricks with the juggling and the bear, and that was pretty fun sometimes. So,
And with relation to your boss, Poe, I believe,
hmm
how would you describe his behavior?
well, let me. He's an interesting fellow. There was this one time where like I said like, hey, come back to the back room, and it's like okay, and then he took down his pants and was like okay, and then we did some stuff like for example with his genitalia, and it was I don't know what to say much about it. It happened. I didn't really care all that much. It's just like, okay, well, you know, I'm getting paid at least. He's a boss. I can't argue against it really, you know. So it's just, yeah.
How did you feel?
Well, I didn't really feel much. I just kind of went with it. You know, I kind of forgot about it afterwards and was just like, okay. I went back to juggling.
Do you know anyone else who may have endured the same experience that you did?
No, probably. I don't know. I never heard of it. Nobody's really, I don't think anybody's that happened to anyone else.
And what was the reason for the circus closing down?
Well, alright, so we were running out of money at one point. Like, the circus wasn't doing that well. Unfortunately, people just don't really like circuses all that much these days. So we decided we're gonna do this like massive show. We're gonna do this great grand show. It's gonna have everyone's gonna have a great little part in it. Everyone's gonna do their own thing, and also we're gonna intertwine it, and it was gonna be like spectacular. It was supposed to be like the make or break moment. And when we did that, well, there were a few things that happened. Unfortunately, it wasn't really planned all too well. I mean, the mime, she, well, when she worked with, Bojangles, she, and they didn't really work all that well together. I mean, Bojangles, at that point, he was kind of already in the deep end, unfortunately. He was kind of slowly falling apart by then. But we did the thing with Calippo. I mean, me, Calippo, and Donato, we did this thing where he would jump over the bear. I would throw some pins over the motorcycle, and that unfortunately didn't work either. And this is kind of just the pattern for every single other type of thing we did during that day. I mean, I don't even remember what else was happening then, but it wasn't really that great.
You said planning wasn't that great. Who was in charge of the planning?
Well, the person in charge of the planning was, I'm not sure if it was Poe. It was probably Lola. And the thing about Lola is that she does some of the really good shows that we did do that were successful. So for some reason, from what I heard, was that it was Lola, but that didn't really make much sense to me. However, although it did make sense. Actually, continue. Yeah. Maybe you can say.
Where did you hear that it was Lola from? Who did you hear that from?
Poe actually said that, and everyone kind of just, everyone trusts Poe. Poe seems like a really nice guy, to be fair. Like, although he does have a bit of an ego, and he's got some things to him. Some people kind of just take what he says. It's just, he's kind of the bigger guy in the room.
And how would you say there was any suspicious behavior among your other colleagues?
Well, let's see. Well, I would say the mime, but she's a mute. I don't think she would do anything. She can't do anything when you can't even speak. Maybe Calippo. Well, he's got some things, like he's in rehab for alcohol and drug use and all that sorts of stuff. Mojangles, I mean, even though he's got all this also really bad stuff with him, I wouldn't say he wouldn't really do anything. Yeah, I don't know.
And how are you faring now since the circus is over?
Well, I've been doing a little bit of still juggling. I'm a juggler, of course. I've been juggling a little bit I've been trying to get to other circuses, but, all circuses are kind of doing bad these days, so I've been just kind of doing my own thing nowadays.
Well, those are all the questions that I have for you. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Yeah.